So I watched Prey. Dog, my afro is like getting bigger. It's almost like your hair grows when you don't get a haircut, right? That's crazy. So yeah, there was a new Predator movie released. The last one I remember seeing was The Predators. That one was not that good. So needless to say, it dampened my expectations. Just as a quick reminder for people who haven't seen these before, I'm going to talk about the movie without spoilers, and then I'm going to talk about it with spoilers. It's pretty simple. Yeah. Oh, I kicked my no, and it's gonna die soon. God damn it. Okay. I don't talk about this segment of like movie stuff ever. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but I think I need to mention the marketing for this movie because the marketing did a really job this time. Of like the 8 people I've talked to who were interested in a Predator sequel, they said they weren't gonna watch Prey because they thought it was a TV show, and I did too. Like I weirdly enough, I didn't actually like want to watch it because I thought it was a show, and I don't know if that's just us being stupid or if that's the marketing, but I think it's something that's there, and from people I've talked to online and real life, it is more common than you'd think. A lot of people thought this was going to be a show. Maybe the marketing up, but I don't know. Let's talk about the actual movie now. The script, especially as far as a Predator movie goes, really wasn't that bad, actually. I rather enjoyed it. Some of the lines were a little screenplay-ish, like you could tell that it wasn't something that they would normally be saying, but overall it does feel like a pretty well thought out script. And again, it's a Predator movie. I'm not expecting Oscar-worthy writing here, but I was pleasantly surprised as far as the script went. Another thing I actually really want to give credit to, the cinematography I rather enjoyed. I don't think there's anything that really irked me as far as that goes. Some of the sequences were actually rather impressive, like how do I say this without spoiling it? The scene with the bear was really fucking dope. That's like my favorite scene in the movie. And that whole sequence is just shot incredibly well. And also it like just, I don't know, something about it feels like it could have been a short film on its own. But, you know, let's backpedal a bit. This movie's set in 1719-ish, early 1700s, Native Americans, right? That's like the group we're following. And they're speaking English, which is fine. I get it. However, that does bring a few weird inconsistencies. Like early in the movie, I don't think I need to hide the fact that this was a Predator in the movie. Sorry if that's a spoiler. There's a Predator in the new Predator movie. But early in the movie, they think it's a lion that's doing all these weird killings and not the Predator. And they call it a lion. And that just irked me because they wouldn't... What? I know there's a word for... I know they had a word for a mountain lion before colonizers came, because lions are in Africa. Lions are way the fuck over there. There's a few weird things like that, and it kind of irks me because I'm nitpicky and I like to pay attention to weird linguistic stuff. But that's okay. That's a minor thing. Let's put that off to the side because it's not really important. Something that is very irritating is the score, because for the first, let's say 60, maybe even 70% of the movie, basically the first 2/3, I can tell you the scene where it switches for me. The score goes from being like pretty good, and it does have an original score. It goes from being pretty good to way too much. It's such an overdone score, and it just sounds so bland and boring. It sounds like a Marvel movie, and I don't want that. I want a cool score. I want it to sound good, but it just sounds like a standard action superhero movie joint. And I mean, again, if that's what floats your boat, don't let me sink your ship. But I think I'm gonna catch a different wave. Heyo, new level added to the thing I say all the fucking time. Insane. I guess it's really take it or leave it. I'm throwing it away. The CG tends to be a Russian roulette of quality in this movie, and there's a lot of CG. And again, I get it, right? The weird thing is that they have a really dope looking practical suit for the Predator. And I've seen behind the scenes footage, which is what intrigued me to watch the movie in the first place. But I saw behind the scenes footage, and the practical effects for the Predator suit looks fucking insane. It looks gorgeous. And then they cover it with CG, and it makes it look 100 times worse. Don't know why they felt the need to do that. I hate it. I hate it. Because I love practical effects. It's one of my favorite things in horror filmmaking and filmmaking in general. So seeing that like really stellar work done on the practical effects just get covered up by CG, it irked me. I'm saying irked a lot. I would say I like this movie more than I disliked it. It's not bad. It has some flaws, and I'm gonna get more into that when I can talk about spoilers. Speaking of which, I'm gonna start talking about spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's on Hulu. I recommend it. I think it's a good enough watch. I'm just an asshole, so I'm gonna keep talking shit. I always forget to close like my tabs when I'm recording, so you can just see whatever I have going on. What if I'm like, what if I'm watching Joe Rogan and you guys just see that, you know? It ruined my reputation, and I can't have that. I gotta start closing that, but whatever. So crazy story. After the scene with the buffalo that were like all fucked or whatever, I knew there was gonna be French trappers because I find that era of history fucking fascinating, right? And I thought, I thought it was just fur trappers. I didn't know they were French specifically. So they get on screen, and I thought that because the Native Americans were speaking English, they would have every other character that isn't Native American in the movie speaking fucking gibberish because it wouldn't make sense to the Native Americans. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sick. And then like 5 minutes later, I found out they were speaking actual French, and I felt so goddamn stupid. So maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am, but whatever. The actors drag this movie down to hell. With the exception of the lead actress, the girl who plays Naru, she does a good job. I was watching with my friend, and it was really funny. Her eyes, I think her eyes are just huge. They were kind of freaking me out. Maybe I was watching the movie pretty late at night, so maybe it was that, but I don't know. I just want, maybe I want to tell you funny stories about me watching movies. Okay, maybe that. Maybe I don't just want to talk shit about a movie. The only other actors I'd say that are doing a good job are Naru's mom and the person in the Predator suit. They're both great. Everyone else delivers the lines like it's a goddamn comedy. They have Friends delivery. You know, that's the way I describe it. They have like Friends or B tier horror delivery. And that's the only way I can describe it that I hope makes sense to some of you. Also, Naru's brother does okay. The war chief, he does okay. She's the only character I remember. The dog's good. The dog's great, actually. This movie does do cool shit. I like that the Predator in this one, I assume he's young. I like that he's touchable. Like, it doesn't feel wholly unrealistic. Maybe it's because you see him like get a little fucked up by some animals. But I like that he seems like something they can overcome with the technology they have, right? Because it wouldn't be fun if it was like an Arnold Predator that's tanking fucking bullet wounds or whatever and just kind of coming back from that shit. But I think they struck a healthy balance of like, oh yeah, he could reasonably fuck up these French-Canadian trappers, but he also could feasibly be taken out by these Native Americans. I think they strike a good balance. I'm talking about stuff I'm not qualified to talk about. I like that the Native Americans in this movie are not mystified. One, it doesn't make sense for the world of the Predator, like that universe. But two, it's such a problem when Native Americans are in horror movies that they're mystified, or like there's always that one Native American that knows too much about like magic and shit, or there's always the Native American burial ground. And this movie doesn't do any of that shit, and it sucks that I have to like say that I really enjoyed that they didn't do that. It sucks that that isn't the norm, but unfortunately it is. And again, I'm not very qualified to talk about this because I'm not Native American, and while I have done some research into it, I haven't like written a paper about it. I haven't done as much research as I could. So I could be saying something wildly ignorant or incorrect. And if I am, I'm just going to go ahead and say, sorry now, don't cancel me. Hashtag nightly is over party. Haha, whatever, right? I just like that they're people. I like that they're treated like people. They're treated like humans. And, you know, I'm glad to see that that isn't as much of the case anymore, if that makes sense. I'm glad to see that there are movies out there that are very much doing the right thing. Okay, back to talking about stuff I'm qualified to speak on. I can't tell you how irritating the practical effects in this movie, having seen the behind the scenes footage. This is the first thing I saw of the movie, and I saw this and I was like, holy shit, that looks fucking awesome. Let me go watch that with my friend. And nothing looks like that in the movie. It all looks CG. The CG is very, very hit or miss because there's some cool shit. Like the bear looks like ass. The bear looks really bad. And then when the bear is getting ripped in half above the Predator and the blood spilling onto him, that looks sick as fuck. It's just weird shit. It's a little inconsistent, but again, maybe that's taste. Maybe you guys thought the bear looked good. I don't know. But yeah, as far as Predator movies go, I'd put this in my top 3, but then again, Predators is my favorite one just because it's fucking bonkers. Maybe I want to talk about that movie more. I think it's funny. I think it's a bonkers ass movie. It might be nostalgia. I might not be the most qualified person to talk about these movies. But this movie's like a 6 out of 10 for me. It gets some better actors and changed the score for the back third of the movie, and I'd bump it up to a solid 7.5 or an 8. That's it for me. I'm Nightly. You've been awesome. Fucking more reviews coming soon, I guess. I got more content coming down the pipeline. You already know the deal. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought. Did you watch Prey? Did you think it was a TV show too? Am I just stupid? Who knows? Probably. Yeah, like, share, subscribe, all the standard YouTube asks. And yeah, it's gonna be it from me. See you in the next one. Peace.